Good evening. Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Monday Weekend Wrap-Up, Episode 8. Episode 8. The international break is upon us. And quickly, just before we get started, if you're watching on YouTube, please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, check out the description below to find out more information about our guests this evening, and be sure to go to their channels and follow them. And if you're here on Twitch, be sure to follow the stream and join in on chat. It's fun. Get to speak your mind. Anyways, now that we have that out of the way, we have a very special show tonight. Joining us, as always, a stalwart of the show, house guest of the program. We have a Twitch streamer extraordinaire and lifelong gooner. Our friend Milothe1st is here. Welcome in, Milo.
Good evening.
Good evening. It's going, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Good.
Busy Monday.
Busy Monday. You were. You want to talk about the New World Sim you were doing some commentary on just now?
Sure. Yeah. So occasionally, if we do a Monday night event, I do the commentary with Tiago. Yeah, it's a bit of fun. It's a much more casual racing experience than our league. So yeah, no, it was good.
Nice. Yeah, I was watching that. It was good fun. And as I mentioned before, guys, our second guest, we have a very special show. If you saw my tweet on Twitter during warm about 4 to 5 hours before kickoff, HoffSpur was our intended guest tonight. Bummed he cannot be here. He twisted his ankle on one of the field sprinklers. I think it was just hidden. You know, usually they have those caps that go on top of the sprinkler. The sprinkler came loose. He almost broke his ankle, and is unfortunately unable to be with us tonight. The production staff, as you might have heard earlier, were working tirelessly to find a stand-in guest to join us for tonight, and to my delight, they have. This means that our second guest has basically zero time to prepare for the show. So please go easy on him, and let's be nice, you know, in case. I don't know. He barely had any time to prepare, so it's going to be pretty amazing when he had the courage to join us. So joining us for the show is a 11v11 full manual PES 21 player who has been capped by his national team. He's also a Gran Turismo expert and a lifelong Liverpool fan, coming to us on the phone line as our last-minute stand-in guest. Please welcome in Raynz. Raynz, are you there?
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me?
Hey, I can hear you. I'm just gonna adjust your volume.
I'm definitely not a Gran Turismo expert, for those of you that just listen to that.
Oh, he's being humble. All right, well, folks, now we know who's on the show. Let's take a look at some of the topics we're gonna be covering tonight. Starting off with the Tragedia Italia. The Italian national team is out of the World Cup. We're going to take a look at some of the other World Cup draws, or look ahead to the World Cup draw this Friday, April 1st. Very exciting times. We're going to look at since it's international break and there's not too much action, we're going to take a look at some free agents coming for this summer. Also some possible transfers. Yeah, just talk about that a little bit. Also, we're going to look at some possible rule changes that we might be interested in. A little bit of talk in the Discord this week about that, so we'll talk a bit about that. Then we have a couple games. Start, bench, drop, F, marry, kill. Similar to that. And then we have HMTCYN. That'll be a riddle for you guys to figure out. That's another game we're going to be doing. And then we have our weekly check-ins, our football memory, and we'll be talking a little F1 at the end of the show. And possibly a beard trim. I'm not sure why I put that. I might shave part of my beard off. We'll find that out. Anyways, I don't know why I put that there. I regret it. I regret that. Okay, moving on. And welcome in chat. Let's just take a look at the chat. Mumera, Valkyrie, Milo, Raynz, welcome in, guys. And Diogo, welcome in, guys. Welcome, everyone. We now have you on the screen joining us for the show now. So all of your takes will be on screen in case we cannot get to them. They'll be there for eternity. Alrighty. Let's take a look at the first topic. Italy. Alexander Trajkovski's stunning 92-minute strike earned North Macedonia a momentous 1-0 victory over Italy. They moved 90 minutes away from qualifying for their first ever World Cup. North Macedonia did. Great performance. Saw the visitors defeat Roberto Mancini's side, who had 32 shots on goal, but they lost a home World Qualifier for the first time in their history. Italy will not be taking part in their second consecutive World Cup. First time ever. Milo, what are your thoughts on that one?
Well, I mean, unsurprisingly, I really enjoyed that result. I mean, you know, like it obviously that goes back to what happened in the Euros. It's, you know, it's still a little sore for us England fans. So yeah, I mean, North Macedonia, like just to get a result like that. I mean, the stats show and the game showed Italy through the kitchen sink and just couldn't do it, and that happens. It's rare, but it does happen. But that's got to be up there with some of the biggest shocks in like qualifier history.
There are some big ones. There's some big ones.
Yeah.
We'll get to those in a second here.
Okay.
Raynz, it's been what, almost 3,000 days since Italy played their last match at the World Cup. What are your thoughts on the game? Were you able to catch any of it? Any reaction to it?
Yeah, I caught some parts of it. You know, like those when you say 30 shots, it sounds like a lot. It sounds like they're dominating. But when you actually watch the game, you know, and you watch the parking of the bus, let's say, you know, the chances. Would you happen to know like how many shots were actually on target?
I can find that out. I don't know exactly.
Because to me, it didn't look like there were that many shots on target.
They had 5 shots on target, but with the possession, even the shots that went wide, like they dominated the game, but they couldn't get it done.
There was one shot by Berardi that he was clear on goal and he just kind of scuffed it right at the goalkeeper. That was pretty rough.
I haven't seen it, but apparently Lorenzo Insigne took an embarrassing corner. I don't know if you
Oh, yeah. They intended to do a short corner where the second guy at the post would come run onto it and kick it, but they just pass it to the North Macedonian guy who was standing right there.
Yeah. You know what I think happened? So I think there was a post earlier in the Twitch. No, sorry, not on the Twitch, in the Discord, where Real Madrid lost badly to Barcelona, right? And so Benzema was asking, was it Casemiro? Like, you know, why they lost so bad? And Casemiro was saying how, like, he basically was playing FIFA for, like, really, really late. So I kind of feel like, in a way, Italy massively, massively underestimated Macedonia, right? And I think that's definitely a part of it. And then once they realize that they haven't scored a goal yet, that stress just keeps going higher and higher, and that leads to a lot of, you know, safe decisions, but they're not feeling the game necessarily as much.
Right. Yeah. Paulo Di Canio said after the match, "I had a feeling it would end like this," he says. And Marco Verratti says, "Do not insult us. We are very normal people," he says. This is the first loss at home. Yeah.
Are you surprised that the talk is that Mancini would keep his job?
He's going to keep his job. That's what I'm hearing as well.
Which is like, that's a surprise for me.
I
feel like missing the World Cup is usually enough for a manager of Italy, that, you know, you'd think that would be enough to lose you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Apparently they said something like, we feel we're lost without Mancini. We were lost before Mancini and he put us in line and we're not going to let go of that or something, you know, something romantic probably. No. I don't know.
Yeah, and then they left the dressing room in an absolute shambles after the game as well. That's the other big story that came out of it.
Oh, did they? I missed that.
Apparently so. Yeah, they trashed the dressing room. There was a lot of gesturing going on. You know, there was a lot of that happening.
Would you guys fire Mancini?
He won the Euros, and then they went out like this. It's it depends on a lot of things, but I would try not to.
Right.
I think it would be who's available as well. You know, like to come in and do a better job. And if there isn't anybody, then why? You know,
what's up or not? Yeah. Well, any other big upsets like this that come to memory? You guys, Miley, you got any that come to mind?
No, not upsets of specific games so much as I think you'd mentioned earlier. I don't know if we're going to get to this later, so if so, just let me know.
No, we can do it now.
You were talking about teams that didn't make it to the World Cup, like big ones. So the biggest one for me was USA '94 and England not making. And it all came down to a game against the Dutch. And I believe it was Koeman that scored the game. I think it was 2-2. And I'd have to look that. I didn't look it up today. I was thinking about it today. I'm pretty sure it was 2-2, or we lost 2-0. But Koeman scored either the tying goal or the winning goal. And he shouldn't have been on the pitch because he brought down David Platt, like last man, should have been sent off, wasn't, ended up scoring the goal, and then we didn't make it to USA '94. So that was the biggest one for me, you know, personally.
That's pretty big. I wrote down a couple just from last World Cup. Italy, obviously. Yeah. And when the USA missed out last World Cup, that was a pretty big bummer for me. We apparently, like, the bookmakers had us a 90% shoe-in for the World Cup. And like 2 other results had to go against us. We lost to Honduras, I believe, or El Salvador. And then 2 other results went against us, and we were knocked out. It was pretty sad. It was pretty bad. And also Netherlands in 2018. They missed out as well. I didn't know they missed out.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Anyways, let's move on to some teams that'll be in the draw next week. So we've got a couple permutations. A lot of games tomorrow, actually. So CONMEBOL, these are the 3 teams in contention for CONMEBOL. Oh, I lost Raynz. Anyways, yep. He's here. No, on my slide here. So Brazil, Argentina, Ecuador, and Uruguay are 1 through 4. And so Peru, Colombia, and Chile, they're going to fight it out for the final qualification spot, which is a playoff with the Asian Confederation. So it's a tough one. If Peru win, they're through. But if they can't, Chile has a chance and Colombia both have a chance. It's close. Peru plays Paraguay. Paraguay's already eliminated, so they're probably going to be out. And Chile plays Uruguay. Uruguay's already through, so you never know what could happen there. And Colombia plays Venezuela, who's also eliminated. So you never know what could happen there. Some good games.
Peru certainly have the best shot. Based on
definitely.
The fixtures and the fact that, you know, one team's complete.
Yeah.
And you know, a win will do it for them. So, yeah, I think you're right.
It'll be exciting to see, though. It'll be exciting.
Who's noticeable on the Peru team?
I'm not sure, I'll be honest. I don't know.
My Peruvian football knowledge is pretty low. I'm not going to lie.
And moving on to the Asian Confederation, I like how they're doing it. Just straight up, 5 teams qualify. And first legs are done. Second legs are coming up. So one of Egypt or Senegal are going to be knocked out. Cameroon, Algeria, some decent games there. These are all tomorrow. All this is happening tomorrow, which is pretty exciting. The 29th, in preparation for the Friday draw. If we move on to the Asian qualifiers, this is the only group that is up in the air at the moment. pretty tight situation here, to be honest. It looks like United Arab Emirates were going to go through, but they are playing Korea. Korea's already qualified, and the winner of whoever gets third place here plays Australia, and then the winner of that plays fifth place in CONMEBOL, which we just looked at. This is always interesting to me. You know, if you're South Korea, you want to win. Every team that's you're playing teams that are qualified, they want to win. Like Lebanon is playing Iran. Iran's already qualified. Korea's already qualified. They want to win because they don't have too many times to practice before the World Cup. You know, these are crucial games for them. So that you get, I don't know. Sometimes I get this idea that they're already through. They don't care about winning, or they don't. You know, it's not as important to them. You know, but I think people are gonna be fighting for their spots and stuff like that.
For sure. I think the main thing with that is always, you know, it's a manager's opportunity to try some things that he wouldn't normally try. And that, you know, that could go good, it could go bad. I mean, the UAE it is really tight.
But you got to imagine they can't be experimenting too much, you know? I mean, how much do you really want to experiment at this point? Especially for these kind of quote-unquote small market teams. But yes, Korea and Iran just qualified on the 24th earlier this week. But yeah, honestly, I'm excited to see who gets in the draw. These are all going to be pretty big matches. Big draw close to my heart. This one, all four teams are through. Well, only Canada is into the World Cup officially. So Mexico, USA, and Costa Rica are all battling for these last two automatic qualifiers. Let me just pause that there.
There is a lot of excitement up here in Vancouver. I said it last week, but obviously now, you know, everybody's very, very happy. And they're excited about their team. And to be honest, I think they've got good cause to be. They could cause some problems.
Yeah.
Got Alphonso Davies, right?
Alphonso Davies, Jonathan Davids. Yeah, so
they got the young kid that scored a whole bunch of goals as well.
Oh yeah, what's his name? I forget his name. Yeah, Costa Rica has to win by like 6 goals. United States has to lose by a goal, I believe. And then, yeah. So if that happens, Mexico would be going to the 4th qualification, which is probably going to be against Wales, probably. Or not Wales. New Zealand. Why did I say Wales? I read Wales. Okay, next one. Let's see here. Oh, but these are the matchups here. USA, Costa Rica. That's, you know, things could get exciting if USA, you know, lets Costa Rica win or something. I don't know if I doubt that's gonna happen. And then UEFA. Pretty straightforward knockout. Wales has to wait. Wales has to wait till June to play their knockout match against Scotland or Ukraine. That'll be a great match, Scotland, Ukraine.
I mean, so Ukraine are confirmed they are playing in that game?
It looks like it. Well, it's not confirmed, but I'd imagine they would.
Interesting.
I'm sure they have enough players outside, and
yeah, it just seems like that would be difficult to make that happen, but maybe not.
Maybe not, yeah. And then we'll find out Poland, Sweden tomorrow. One of those two are going through. And Portugal and North Macedonia. One of them are going through. Do I have one more?
My money's on Portugal. I can't see North Macedonia taking another scout, to be honest.
Yeah. It would be amazing, though, wouldn't it? First ever.
It would be amazing.
Again, if they underestimate them, you know, same strategy, park the bus. Then they get antsy.
Yeah, it could happen. It could happen.
It could.
It could. Alrighty. I mean, what else? Well, there's not much else other news going on in the week. You know, it's the International Week. Time to look at some other things. Let's take a look at the summer. We have some free agents to look at. We have some possible transfers. Who's the biggest free agent get for you guys? What do you guys think? Milo, why don't you go ahead first?
I don't know. I mean, like I was thinking about this today. Like, what are my options? Like,
Oh,
from
I
my
got a
team
list.
or in general?
From what?
From my team?
Oh, from
or
your
just-
team? Lacazette and Nketiah from your team.
No, I mean like for my team or just in
for your
general.
team. Sure, yeah. There's,
I mean, who are my options? Can you?
There's
list
a
them?
massive option. Give me a position, and I'll tell you. Striker?
Right, well, I need a forward, so yeah.
Divock Origi, yes or no?
No.
I think he might be a good backup for you guys.
Sorry, Soccer, if you're there.
Okay. Jordan Ayew's a little older. Timu Puki, how about him coming off the bench?
I'd rather have him off the bench than Nketiah.
How about a return for Danny Welbeck?
No, too old.
No.
Speaking of Origi, Raynz, do you think you'll re-sign Origi?
Yeah, that's pretty tough. I mean, you know, he's been pretty consistent when he does come on. I mean, you know, all those memorable moments and crucial points. I mean, Origi was there, but you know, it just seems like the type of game that they're playing. I think they'll want to keep him on, just because he's a great sub. But if Origi wants to go, you know, that's the part that I don't know. Does he want to go or does he want to stay?
I don't know. He's been linked with Milan. I think that's a big link.
Is he not at the point where he wants to play? It's not necessarily about
exactly.
leaving or staying. It's more like whatever means I will play. Because there are players that are happy to sit on a bench and just collect paycheck. But I don't, if he's not one of those, then he's going to want to get game time. I mean, second thoughts, going back on it, I would take him, but I don't think it would ever happen. But yeah, I'd probably take him.
Other free agents, strikers, Belotti, Dybala.
We've been linked with Dybala, and I know a certain culture Leffert who's absent this evening as well. He would love Dybala at United.
Yeah, he'd be
He
good.
talked about that.
I don't know if he'd he would be nice, I guess. Also, Carlos Bacca is the other notable striker I'm seeing here. There's a ton of players though on that are free. Kessié, Brozovic, Belotti, Romagnoli, Bernadeschi, DeCilio. Oh, there's tons.
Yeah, Iran, I've never been that impressed with Dybala. Iran's saying Dybala sucks there in the chat. Like, I've never been super impressed with him, and I certainly don't think he's a player that could like lead a line in the Premier League. I mean, maybe he would fit in a system, but
yeah, he seems like
more of a. Was going to re-sign. I thought the rumor was Kessie was re-signed.
Kessie's apparently going to Barca. That's the talk.
Really?
Christensen and Kessie to Barca.
And then who did Barca let leave? Dion?
No, I think they just signed him. I think they have a young guy. Brozovic already signed a new contract with Inter Milan. Okay,
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Yeah, Dion.
There we go. I think they have a young guy, Nico, who's been coming on here and there, and also Sergio Busquets is on the way out. So I think they try to put Frenkie de Jong in that 6th spot or 4 at Barca, whatever you want to call it. And then it might be a Kessie, De Jong, Pedri midfield, which would be really, really dangerous.
Yeah. Interesting. It's going to be interesting to keep watching the Barcelona. I'm going to call it a rebuild.
Yeah.
But it's under Xavi. It's going to be interesting to see where they go from here.
How would you like Jesse Lingard at Arsenal? These are squad as a squad player.
Yeah.
I don't think
I can't. I've spent the last 3 weeks on the show talking about how we need depth, and so I couldn't say no, could I? I couldn't. We could use it.
Right.
The inconsistent players though is a problem, right? Pepe. Do you think Lingard fits that mold? Inconsistent.
Actually, the more I think about it, I don't think he'd want to be on the bench. I think he wants to go somewhere where he could play every week.
I'm surprised he didn't go to West Ham.
I mean, it seems like that would be a
West Ham didn't
great
want him
destination
anymore,
for him.
Yeah, what
I
happened
think-
there? Why?
I don't think they wanted to pay
United
for him.
wanted him back.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Or United
was
wanted
paid.
him back based on his form, I thought.
Well, the whole Greenwood thing happened, and then also United were demanding quite a bit of money for him
Oh, God.
for a
All right,
direct
Milo,
rival.
would you take Cavani first striker?
No, I think if we were going to go for a player of that age, we'd probably go further out to keep Lacazette, I would think.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But
Lacazette's not bad.
I feel like we're moving on from that. I think we're going to go young. We're going to have Martinelli as a possible number 9, and I think we're going to be all in on a a centre forward. I'm going to say Haaland because why not?
All these pictures of Haaland and Odegaard
In red and- He
circulating.
was wearing red and white socks or some shit, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's going to Arsenal."
Oh no,
Ooh,
a lot
Luis
of names
Suarez
on this
also-
list.
Yeah, Luis Suarez is also going to be a free agent.
Luis Suarez,
Yeah,
Arturo
I mean-
Vidal.
As Suarez again, we're getting towards the end, right?
Yeah,
And free agent, he could make a lot of money if he went to the MLS or
MLS or China,
South
or
America
something.
somewhere,
Yes.
maybe. Like, yeah, I mean, there's
Isco.
money he could make, and he's getting to that part of his.
I was really surprised at seeing how many free agents there are. There's a lot from all the leagues. It'll be interesting to see where they go. I'm curious why they haven't been re-signed or anything. A lot of decent names: John Joe Shelby, Sean Longstaff. El Nani's leaving you guys. That's kind of a bummer. Fabian Delph.
El
He's a bit
Neni,
bastard.
yeah, I mean, no, not really. I mean,
Sergio Aurier. Yeah,
that's not a big loss for me. I don't. I think we've got players to make.
I feel like there's a bunch of just these squad type players that are available. Obviously, the big ones: Mbappe, Pogba, Rudiger. These guys are obviously the big names, but there's all these smaller names that could fill in and as backups, and even just De Chilio, right? Right back, left back could put pressure on so many Premier League right back, left backs, or stuff like that. But, anyways,
Yeah.
Perisic. Anyways, all right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next one. Rule changes. All right, we're talking rule changes. Marco van Basten recently, last year, I believe, came out and says, I'm still very curious about the offside rule because I'm convinced it is not a good rule. At least I would like to trial it to show that football is also possible without the offside rule. I'm convinced that football would be better without it. Football is a fantastic game, but I still think that we have too much to do much more to make it better. More spectacular, more interesting, more exciting. We have to work on that. Teams would find a way to play without it. Even if you do away with the offside line, the defense will drop deeper and deeper, but the goalie will not like his defense to be so close to him. So basically, these are some of his changes he recommends. No offside rule, a sin bin, almost like a hockey penalty box, orange cards, no extra time, a time limit for penalty shootouts, and 90 minutes split into 4 quarters. There's a lot of, it's quite extreme. And he's apparently like the FIFA technical development director or something.
Wow.
What do you think about all this? Raynz, what are your initial thoughts when I say that?
Yeah, that's a bit much. I mean, you're pretty much changing like the entire game when there's no offside trap, right? Like
You're changing,
it's
yeah.
not, it's not something that's like debatable, such as like rules around VAR. That's probably a little more debatable, right? Changing for the better, but so many years of having offside trap and all of a sudden you don't have anymore. I mean, that is something.
Yeah. Milo, when I say rule changes, does anything pop into mind?
I mean, look, for me, offside, I wouldn't mind some changes to it, but I'm what's the word? Vehemently?
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 I'm trying to say it in a British accent.
Yeah. Whatever it is, I'm
vehemently.
really, How about I'm really fucking against all the other things you said? Like,
Yeah.
And I tell you what, I'd like to see a bit of a change to the handball in the penalty area situation.
Yeah, that's...
I would like it to be a clear and obvious move of the hand, kind of like hockey's, clear and obvious kick of the puck. I'd like to see it, a clear and obvious handball for a penalty, not this stuff in between.
Yeah, the no offside rule is interesting, because when you think about it, right, teams could run behind, right? But then that would imagine like a Manchester City versus a Park the Bus. Let's say Atletico Madrid. Let's just say Atletico Madrid, right? To park the bus, you want to be deep, and they'll already be deep. But knowing that they can counterattack, and when they bring their lineup, City don't have to respect it. It becomes a whole nother. It allows City to have more open space and attack type of thing. So these park the bus games would only allow for more, I think, offense in a way, right? It's a very offense-minded thing, because if you park the bus, you clear the ball. What's the first thing you do right now with an offside line? You push the line up as far as you can, right, to get the other team out of your half, away from the goal, and they have to restart, and you try to stop the through ball behind the line, and then you just start your defense, and slowly they might wear you down and you'll slowly go back. But a team like Man City or high possession teams will find a way to drop you back all the way. But if it's a team like, say, how Manchester United play right now, they'll go for that over-the-top ball, but they're so inefficient, right? Think about all the passes that Bruno Fernandes is going to kick and miss. He's one of the most inefficient playmakers, right? So just add that to the game, add those turnovers to the game. You got a more exciting game. I think I see what he's saying. Do I think it's feasible, and do I think it's everybody's going to respect it? I think at the highest level it'll be nice, but like at the lower levels it's going to be a shit show, basically. Like in youth football and high school and maybe even college. It's just going to be a shit show. But at the highest level, I think you'll see more offensive football, more goals, which is probably what Marco van Basten wants. I know it's quite extreme to think about.
You're talking like erase the rule completely.
I'm saying, if that happened, what would football look like?
So one of the reasons offside has to be a thing is because you could just leave two people on the 6-yard line in their penalty area.
And then you lose. Then you lose two players. You
do, but take that risk, win the ball back, and just pump it. I don't know. Like I just feel like, see, I don't want to be like, my personality as well. I will openly admit I'm not a massive fan of change. When things that are like a tradition change, I find it hard to do that. That's just who I am. So with football, I'm very traditionalist and protective of, like the whole quarters instead of halves. Like I'm very protective of that. And it's not about it being Americanized, but that's whenever that gets mentioned in England, that's what comes up. It's Americanizing the sport, and they won't have it, kind of thing. For me, it's not about that. It's just more tradition.
No, I get it. But at one time, they didn't have offside. The offside rule was changed. Yeah. They didn't have goal kicks. At one time, they didn't have penalty shots. At one time, they didn't. Or they changed. The goalkeeper could pick up the ball with his hands. There have been changes since the beginning of football. I think 1990 was the most big rule change. That was the whole keeper can't pick up the ball. So I'm just saying, if these things happen, I'm not saying I like the idea. I think it'd be interesting to see how like a Guardiola or like a top level manager, just almost one of the best Guardiola, but not quite the best Guardiola, would react to these types of changes.
I mean, for For me though, like you're basically rewarding certain abilities and downplaying other abilities. So the abilities that you're basically going to be awarding are people who can control the ball with their head, right? When they get the long ball. And you're rewarding like the playmakers who can deliver those long balls. And play those really, really long passes, even on the ground, right? Because there's going to be so much more space. But what you're taking out is the expertise in delivering these like offside traps. You're taking away the expertise in, an attacker being able to make the perfect run at the perfect time. And I think if you're taking those things away, like that's destroying a major part of the greatness of the sport.
True. No, absolutely. There's definitely a trade-off with it. It definitely leans towards the attackers, and I think that's the goal of Van Basten by saying these things. Is he coming from Van Basten, it makes sense because he's a striker and he wants goals, right? He's not thinking like a defensive line that likes to play a sweet offside trap or anything like that. And I do think when you like. For example, yesterday in hockey, there was a 9-5 game, right? 9 goals to 5 goals. And in the back of my mind, I was thinking, oh man, why, if football, soccer was more like that, people would be watching so much more. Like it truly would. If there were more games that had if there were more games with 3 or more goals, by each team, it's a fact. The game would grow in popularity, right? I think, especially the new generation.
Yeah, I mean, I do think amongst football fans, I think the art of defending is appreciated more than it is in other sport.
Quite possibly. So, and that I completely agree. I played in defensive positions as well, so I completely agree with that. So I'm just thinking from Van Basten's perspective, where you want to grow the game. The rule, is there any other way to guarantee more goals in a game? Not really. And I think it would just promote more attacking football, and people want to see attacking football, right? That, a lot of quote unquote football purists, as they call themselves, not purists, but like, people who want the best for the game, like in a lot of clubs like Ajax and Barca and even Arsenal, right? They pride themselves on playing football, total football, attacking football. Like, I'm not saying defending is not part of their game, but it would allow for that type of football to be played everywhere. Like, it would promote that type of football rather than these Atletico Madrid and Burnley and even United at times, right? The sit back, low block counter would be discouraged, or at least discouraged with so many numbers. So it's a fun thought experiment for me. I don't know. Anyways,
wouldn't that happen even more though?
Low block?
Yeah, the low block. Wouldn't that happen even more? Low block with like 2 strikers up front.
No, but then you could just put someone right next to the keeper, or or you could put someone on the post, behind the post. You know what I mean? Like people running in from outside of the field. Like, I don't know. Everything would become a corner almost. I mean, it could be ugly if you think of it like if a team played super low block. It could get ugly, but at the same time, I don't think the goalie wants that much presence in his box. I don't think the goalie wants 10 players in a 6-yard box. So the only way to do that is to push your team out of the box. Because if there's no offside rule, the defenders are going to mark the attackers, and if they're sitting in the box, the goalie's going to be crowded. I don't know. It's quite a. It's like a long chain of events, right? So it's like it's tough to imagine, and I can't imagine it honestly, and I doubt it'll ever happen. But
I'd be surprised, but you just don't know. Yeah, like your aunt.
Yeah, at one time
they propose changes, and then they end up making small ones.
Exactly.
That's to appease people like me who are like,
right?
How dare you?
I bet some kids, when they go to the airport, don't even question why they have to take their shoes off. That's a whole nother. That's another thing. They're just. It's just that's what you do. But before, my
Yeah.
dad told me you used to walk on the plane like a bus, type of thing. Anyways, moving on. Interesting thought experiment. The international break, solitude. Let's do a bit of yeah.
I was just going to say, I listened to a podcast that they call this the interlull, and I like that term.
Interlull. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like a lull in the game, like interlull. It just fits nice.
Diogo, we'll get. Diogo's asking, what's your reaction about Premier League denying Victor Moses' transfer to Burnley after they changed the rules because of Ukrainian-Russian war? I think Victor Moses is playing in Russia, and they tried to transfer him to Burnley, and FIFA blocked it. It's pretty weird to me, but
I think them blocking it is. I think it's a bad look because you've got someone there that has an opportunity to continue his career, and I don't know. I think blocking that is the wrong move, but
yeah.
Once you let one go, though, then
but
there's all these other ones.
Can make
true,
like just to play devil's advocate, if you can make special dispensation to like, for example, ban Russia from the World Cup qualifiers or whatever it might be, ban them from this, ban them from that, then you can also make some small other adjustments for people that aren't like
true. Yeah. Very true. All right, well, let's do a couple
Premier
games.
League blocked it, says Diogo.
Oh, the Premier League blocked it.
Yeah, I find that. Oh, it is, Premier League blocked it.
But you said after UEFA and FIFA changed the rules because of the Ukrainian-Russian war.
Yeah, so FIFA and UEFA, they allowed the players from teams.
Oh, they allowed it.
Yeah, on short-term deals to the end of the season. But the Premier League have said they won't accept any requests for new transfers due to concerns over the sporting integrity of the competition, which is a laugh considering some of the refereeing they allowed to happen.
Yeah,
let's just leave it at that.
Interesting. Alrighty, guys, let's do a bit of a start, bench, drop. First off, we have Afonso Davies, Andy Robertson, or Jordi Alba. 3 left backs. Start, sit, bench, drop. Raynz.
Ooh, this is tough. Well, let's start with drop. Drop Jordi Alba.
Ooh, just like that.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, he's getting there. He's in terms of age.
Okay. Let's start this over. In their prime. These are all in their prime now. In their prime. Despite what the picture, what picture I have, I know he looks older in that picture, but in their prime.
Like they all have different qualities, right? Things they're better at, and sort of depends on like the team that they're playing in. Sorry, I have to give that logistical answer.
Okay, that goes for all of them. That goes for all of them as well. We can come to a consensus about that. Start, bench, drop. Quick.
All right.
Good.
You go ahead, Milo.
Okay. I'm gonna start Davis.
Okay.
I'm gonna bench Prime Alba.
Yeah, all prime.
And I'll drop Robert.
All right. Okay. Raynz, you got one, or should I go? I'll go.
Okay. So.
Okay. We got 6 more to go. Go for it.
No, I'm gonna go for Robertson because of the balance.
Okay, Robertson's starting. Who's coming off the bench?
I feel like Davies and Alba at their prime, they're pretty similar.
Ooh.
But Alba might have like the better passing, so I'm gonna bench Alba and drop Davies.
I'm starting Alba, Robertson on the bench, and Afonso Davies. Afonso Davies in the stands. I like Robertson's crossing. All right, next up we have Wayne Rooney, Francesco Totti, or Del Piero. These kind of deep-lying forwards in their prime. The best you've ever seen these players play. Who would you pick? I'll go last. No, I'll go first. I'll take I'll start Rooney, bench, Totti, Del Piero in the stands.
You start Rooney over Prime Totti and Del Piero.
I start Wayne Rooney. Next.
Ridiculous.
You're up next.
I will start Totti, bench Del Piero, and drop Rooney as far down the road in Liverpool as I can get.
Hey, I had, someone's got to. Okay.
We're talking
Nice.
Prime Totti and Del Piero.
Have you seen Prime Rooney? Shaved head?
Come on, dude. Come on.
Prime Rib.
No, Rooney has it all. I'm gonna start Rooney.
Oh!
Yeah. I'm gonna bench Del Piero, and I'm gonna drop Totti.
Okay.
I have to wonder if you watching football post 2006 comes into play.
It might have a bit to do with that.
I love
It might have a
Totti,
bit to do
but-
with that.
Dude.
All right, next up we have Frank Ribéry, David Villa, or Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard. Oh, quickly, Diogo says start Robertson, bench Jordi Alba, and drop Afonso Davies. Nice. So we had two switch.
That's
there.
what I had. Yep.
Del Piero starts, bench Totti, drop Rooney. Totti gets handsome points. Yeah, sure. I know who does not get handsome points is Frank Ribéry. But to me it's a question of, I think Villa is either starting or on the bench. Frank Ribéry or Hazard in their prime. I think I would put Villa on the bench. And I'm going to start Prime Hazard. Prime. And I have to drop Ribéry. What do you guys think?
I am going to start Villa. I'm going to bench Hazard, and I'm going to drop Ribéry.
Yeah.
I'm going to start Hazard,
Okay.
and I'll bench Villa and drop Ribéry.
All right. We're pretty close there. Diogo says start Villa, bench Hazard, drop Ribéry. Start Villa, bench Ribéry, drop Hazard. Okay, there we go. Remember, these are all prime. Next up, we have a couple right backs. Dani Alves, Philippe Lam, or Javier Zanetti. All in their prime. Prime. This is a tough one, actually. I feel like Alves has to be on the bench or starting.
Zanetti, and Alves?
Dani Alves, yeah. I think I would drop Lam and put Zanetti on the bench and start Alves. I guess one thing, despite our, being prime is one thing, but then also the positions they can play,
Right.
and
what
the way
teams they're
they
playing in.
play, no matter even the teams they're playing in doesn't. It actually does matter, but like when you think about what their abilities are, you want the best, most versatile player, I guess. I don't know.
I mean,
I would start Alves, bench Lam, drop Zanetti.
Okay, yeah.
start Lam, bench Zanetti, drop Alves.
Oh, interesting.
You don't always need Alves. Not all. You need
True,
a
you don't
particular
always
team
need
to
him.
play Alves.
True. I just like these ball playing guys. I'm a big fan of the ball players. Okay, anyways. Next up we have Gareth Bale, Angel Di Maria, or Arjen Robben. Prime.
Ooh,
A bunch of left-footed wingers.
And players that I detest. Sure.
Why? Oh, I don't understand one. Actually, Robin can be.
Detestable players.
Robin, yeah, they got a level of shithousery.
This is-
While you guys are thinking about
this is a
that,
tough one for me. This one's the toughest for me.
Diogo says start Alves, bench Zanetti, drop Lam. Okay. Daniel Alves. There we go. It's a tough one. It's tough.
Yeah.
I'm ready if you're not.
Go for
Raynz.
it. Go for it.
Yeah, do it.
So, all right. For me, I'm going to have to start Bale. And it hurts me to say that.
Oof.
Ooh.
It hurts me to say that. I bench Robin purely because he to me is one of the most talented players like we've seen. But the absolute level of dickheadery is unforgivable, and I can't start you because of that. And Di Maria, I just think's been a flop. I don't get the hype. Never have.
Oh man. I'll go. I'll say I'm gonna start Robin in his prime. I'm going to bench Di Maria and drop Bale in their prime.
You're going
Right?
to drop Gareth bicycle kick in the Champions League final, Bale.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I
not
am.
just his bicycle kick. There's also all these
No, I
other
know.
games where he's not doing bicycle kicks.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying.
It's a tough
that
choice. It's a tough choice.
He's show, and I just think I respect the fact that Bale showed up a lot in front of a fan base that for some reason wouldn't accept him, and in my opinion,
True.
it's because he's British.
I feel like
Also, he doesn't play very much.
Yeah. I feel like he can create magic, right? Either with his sprints or with his shots. But I'm gonna start Robin, but I really have a lot of appreciation for Di Maria because Di Maria is not necessarily produced like the magic, but he puts in the work day in day out at his prime.
All right.
Like
still
drop Bale.
Robin would have been my starter, but he's only got himself to blame because of the way he acts. So, Robin, if you're listening, sorry.
Diogo says start Di Maria, bench Robin, drop Bale, and Iran brings up that volley against United in 2011. I believe that was when Nani got sent off. He got sent off in the Champions League, I think quarterfinal, second leg. Anyways, next up we have a couple playmakers. Xavi, Deco, or Modric? Xavi, Deco, or Modric? These are tough.
It's Modric, Xavi, Deco for me.
I'm going to go Modric, Deco, Xavi. Xavi's off.
You know what? Can I ask? Like, I haven't seen enough of Deco. How is he? Like, what is he good at compared to the others?
Deco was the prototype for basically Xavi and Iniesta.
Oh,
He was a bit of both of them combined. He was there before Iniesta and Xavi got into the team in that kind of 6-8 position.
I don't know that he achieved everything he should have in his career, and that's why he's lower on the list. He was very good.
He's an
Very,
agent
very
now.
good.
He's an agent for somebody. I read he's somebody's agent.
interesting.
So I'm guessing
really, really good player, but you know, Xavi, his resume speaks for itself.
Xavi's solid. I gotta pick Modric just because I think, playing at Barcelona your whole career, in the position that Xavi did, I think works against him a little bit for all-time talk.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
Tough.
Like in that system, the best.
He's perfect.
But
perfect.
But I feel like
wonder
Modric can probably do like, just as good of a job. Well, not as amazing, like not like the tip top best in that formation, but he can do, just as well, almost just as well.
Diogo says, start Xavi, Modric on the bench, and drop Deco. That's coming from a Portuguese person.
I could live with that.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, and the final one, we have Materazzi, Pepe, and David Luiz. Legendary center backs for their antics. Who would you want as the... is there a name for that player? Would he be considered an enforcer? I don't know. I don't know what he's called. A destroyer. They're all destroyers in Pez terms.
Man, that's a tough one as well.
Which shithouser would you want on your team? Let's just say which one would you want on your team. Let's just keep one of them. Drop
I'm gonna
two,
start
keep one.
Pepe. I'm gonna
How
start
about
Pepe.
this? Bench drop.
No, I'd start Pepe.
Yeah.
Okay. Prime
well,
Pepe
Raynz,
was good. He was
Yeah.
good. Champions League winner.
I
Materazzi
think
as well.
he's the best
He-
player, like football player. Take the shithousery away.
Yeah.
He's the best player. And on that, I mean, maybe David Luiz would be second though, if I go in that.
I'd probably go. I'd go Pepe, Materazzi, David Luiz. That's what we do. Raynz, you got one?
Yeah. I mean, I said I would keep Pepe out of all of them. You know.
Okay.
Like, you would just instill fear. Like, if you do anything to try to get past him, he's gonna do something to you, whether
Yeah.
it's legal or not, right? And you might get
All right.
injured for it. So, David
You
Luiz,
go-
you know what he's gonna do? He's gonna make a really nice pass every once in a while, and then you would just run past him, and then you would just be a Brazilian team and lose to Germany so badly, right?
That'd be bad. Yeah.
Whereas Pepe wouldn't.
You don't want
wouldn't
that
necessarily let
baggage.
That happen.
You don't want that 7-1 baggage, you know? You don't want that in the dressing room.
I think
Start Pepe.
Materazzi was too far the other way, you know? For me.
Yeah, he was. What did he play for Italy? Was he? Did he start for Italy?
I think he came off the bench a lot.
Okay, yeah, he wasn't. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, moving on to our next game, guys. This is the betting game. HMTCYN. How many teams can you name?
Oh
Okay.
God.
Teams
I need my
managed
pen.
or played for. Now, this one, when the production team told us Raynz was our fill-in for the program, it felt a little tough because, I don't know. I feel like this might be a little tough. Anyways, Louis van Gaal, do you have a guess? Can teams managed and played for? We need one number. How many teams can you
Managed and played.
2.
and or played for? And or.
2.
2. Okay, can you beat 2, Malo?
You should definitely be 2.
Can you beat 2?
I mean, listen, I'm not Van Gaal's biggest opponent.
The theme is World Cup managers. And one non-World Cup manager.
Sure about that. I'll go 3. Because he
You'll go
went
3.
2. I'm playing it really.
Okay, do the 3, and then if Raynz, if you have one of them that Milo didn't say, you can say them. But 3 is the the gamble. Let's see.
Wait, 4. I'm just gonna go
Raynz,
for it.
Raynz
I'm
has
gonna go
4.
for it.
He's in there.
Can you outbid him, Milo?
No, I'll let him have at it.
All
But
right,
if
go
he gets
for it,
one
Raynz.
wrong, what happens?
All right,
then?
just have a sense
So
of
you
competition.
lose. Milo gets the point.
Oh, really? Oh man, I didn't know that was
Yes.
the case.
National team counts. Yeah. This is for points. This is for the
All
next time you're on the program, you get a star next to your name or something. Or you're the defending
All right.
champion. You hold the belt.
So, Man U and Netherlands. Those are the teams that he managed. The first 2.
2. We need 2 more.
Okay.
Where the points go to Milo. All the points go to Milo.
And then I think I also remember him being at Bayern.
Bayern
Very
Munich is
vaguely.
correct.
And then the last team I'm gonna totally guess on. It's probably some sort of Dutch team, and the most popular Dutch team I know is Ajax. And I don't even know if he was there. I'm just gonna take that guess.
That is correct. That is 4
Oh,
teams
shit.
he has managed and or played for. Raynz, you get the points.
Well done, Raynz. Well done.
Well done. Very nicely done. Milo, do you have any other ones you can think of?
No, I had United, Holland. I wrote PSV. I thought he was a PSV manager.
He wasn't PSV. He was AZ Alkmaar.
AZ
manager
Alkmaar.
From 2005 2009. He played at Ajax. Or no, he was signed to Ajax. Royal Antwerp.
Ajax too.
Sparta Rotterdam was his. No, this is where he played. This is where he played. But he also managed Ajax for 6 years.
Oh,
I think
right.
he took them to the Champions League final.
Really? Huh.
I believe so, yeah. The Ajax team was under him. Barcelona, Netherlands, then back to Barcelona, AZ Alkmaar, Bayern Munich, Netherlands, Manchester United, and back to Netherlands.
How did he do at Barcelona?
I don't know. He was there from 97 to 2000. I don't know. I don't know how he did. Romario and Rivaldo. Oh, no. Must have been just before Rivaldo, maybe. All right. Next up, we have Didier Deschamps, the current... Okay, well, I'll give you one. So everyone gets one freebie. The current national team manager of France. Since 2012, he's been there. Now, he's played for more teams than he's managed. That's just a small clue. And that's all I can tell you. Youth career does not count, by the way.
I will go with 3. With?
Okay.
Oh, I can't match that. I can't even think of that many guesses.
Okay. Milo, what do you think?
Juventus?
Juventus managed 2000 or managed or played? Both, actually.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, I actually wrote that down as a player. I forgot he managed.
Okay, yeah. 94 to 99 as a player, 124 appearances. And then he managed there from 2006 to 2007. All right, very nice. Juventus.
Chelsea.
Chelsea as a player for one season, 27 appearances.
Yeah. Marseille.
Marseille is correct, both player and manager.
And that's my 3.
That's your 3. Very nice. Very nice.
Anywhere else?
Anywhere else? We have Olympique Marseille. Oh, you said it already. Juventus, we've said it. Saint Etienne is incorrect. Let's go through his managing career. He managed Monaco, Juventus, Marseille, and France. He played for Nantes, Marseille, Juventus, Chelsea, and Valencia briefly.
Valencia.
Small spell at Valencia.
Yeah, I don't think I would have
Bordeaux.
got the other teams he played for, because
it's a bit tricky.
Small. Yeah, if it's like a really small amount, and Deschamps was so, I watched Juventus quite a bit when he played there, and also obviously I remember the Chelsea.
Yeah.
And I knew Marseille because I knew he's a bit of a legend.
He's great. All right, and the final one for this section is Roberto Mancini. Roberto Mancini. Robert Mancini. Robert Mancini. Bob Mancini. That's what his name would be in America. Robert Manchin, maybe. They would have shortened it. Bobby Manch. Bobby Manch. Bobby Manch.
I'm gonna go with. We'll start with 3. I'll start with 3.
Okay. The wager is 3, Milo. Can you go higher than 3? Chat, I want to hear your numbers before you give me teams.
I'll go 4.
4! We have 4 on the board.
Jesus.
This is a tough one.
Okay, I'm gonna go. All right, I'll go for it. I'll go for it just for the fun of it. I'll go for 5.
Okay.
If you get it wrong, those points are mine.
All right, let's see it.
Yeah, go for it, Raynz. Go for it. It's only a bit of
Okay.
fun.
This is
All
for
right.
the win, basically. We're tied 1-1.
I'm like
really?
psyching you out. It's like it's just a bit of fun, dude. Go for it.
All right. So he's Italian. So the Italian national team.
Right. 1,
Inter Milan.
2,
Manchester City.
3.
Those are the ones I know for sure.
Okay, now we need 2 more.
Now it's gonna get interesting. So after Man City, after the whole Balotelli debacle, I think he went to a Turkish place. So I'm gonna say Galatasaray.
That's correct. Wow.
You need one more.
Okay. So this is the one that's a total guess. So I'm just gonna guess another Italian team, cause why not? Oh, that's
Don't look at chat.
No.
Don't look at chat. Try not to look at chat.
Napoli.
Napoli is incorrect.
Oh.
So close. Very close. Nice guess on Galatasaray,
Yeah.
man. Holy Lord.
I didn't have Galatasaray.
Okay, Milo, which ones do you have any different than this than Raynz?
I had Juventus down. Was he at Juve?
He was not at Juventus. Good thing Raynz went for it.
What?
He was not at
Oh,
Juventus.
did I have to guess correctly to win?
No, you're good. You got the point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got the point.
Oh.
Yeah,
else
that's
Was he at somewhere else in England? Did he ever
he did play in England 4 appearances in 2001. He went on loan to England.
for?
There we go. We got Diogo. We have Diogo with Inter Milan, correct. Zenit St. Petersburg, also correct.
Zenit.
Lazio, he managed and played there.
I wrote Lazio down, so they were my next
Okay.
after Juventus.
Sorry, yeah, go ahead. Did are there any other ones? Sorry.
No.
Okay, sorry. I forgot.
Leicester?
Leicester. He played for Leicester 4 games.
Wow.
Let's see.
Well,
Fiorentina is also
okay.
correct. And Bologna and Sampdoria.
Wow. I could have named a
Sampdoria.
lot of other Italian teams. Damn.
That was a good guess. So many people have managed Juventus, you know?
Yeah.
So many people. Alrighty. Guys, and we're on to our football memory. The football memory. When I say football, what comes to mind? You know? Of all the things in the world that are bobbling around your head, what comes to mind?
Jose
Milo.
Mourinho.
Jose Mourinho.
whoops.
What about Jose Mourinho comes to mind?
Yeah, let Raynz go. Go for
My
it.
bad.
No, you're
No,
good.
get in there.
Not
Get in
there.
there, bro. Get in there.
When okay,
Yeah.
so now let's go. When you think of Jose Mourinho, what's the first thing you think of?
I think of big cojones. I think
Whoa.
of basically like just being able to, at his prime at least, he was able to take any team, you know,
Oh,
to win something.
True.
Any
true,
team.
True.
And the moment especially in mind was Inter Milan versus Barcelona.
Very true. Great
And
game.
ever since then, I've been studying a lot of Jose Mourinho and that Inter Milan team.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Milo, a memory, football memory? You wanna talk about?
When you sent me the show kind of rundown, so we do like a rundown for those that don't know, like just in the background.
Yeah.
I kind of wait to see what pops in when I read through it. So like when I read memory this week, I went straight for some reason to, I must have seen a clip of it recently, to England 2, Greece 2.
Yes.
Beckham, you know, the famous Beckham free kick that got
Great
us
free
to the World Cup. And I was in a town in England on the south coast called Southampton, which you might be familiar with.
Oh yeah.
And I was down there visiting some friends who were at university there at that time. So we went to an Australian bar, funnily enough, called The Walkabout. But the reason we went there is because it had amazing screens, a massive open area in the middle. And have you ever seen that? Have you seen that like clip, that meme clip that everyone uses where it's something playing on the big screen and then everyone goes mad and beers go everywhere and all that stuff?
Yeah.
It was like that in there. So like, you know, the game went like, you know, Greece 1-0 up, England, Sheringham equalised for England, Greece take the lead, and then obviously Beckham, last kick of the game. And I remember standing there in the middle of the Walkabout Inn, and Beckham had 5 or 6 free kicks, I think, during that game. Maybe that's exaggeration. I just remember it being like he'd had a few and he didn't come close. And I don't know. I just knew that one was going in. I just knew it.
It was such a great free kick.
Fuck, the place erupted, man. It's probably the best like England atmosphere I've seen. The only thing that came close to that was beating Germany 5-1 in Munich. That was also really, really. I was in the same bar for that as well because they were right around the same time.
Right.
And so for fun, I looked up the lineup, and I just, you know, I like this England team, man. Like Nigel Martin in goal, Gary Neville, Ashley Cole as your wingbacks, Rio and Keown. So Rio Ferdinand and Martin Keown at centre back. You know, you got Keown, who's a bastard, and Rio is, you know, at the time was really good. You had Gerrard and Scholes in midfield. No Lampard. So I was happy about that. Gerrard and Scholes in midfield. Nicky Barmby. And then Fowler and Heskey. And obviously Beckham. Sorry, I missed Beckham.
Right.
But Nicky Barmby, yeah. And then Fowler and Heskey were the starting forwards. Heskey stayed on for the 90. Fowler came off for Teddy Sheringham. And Steve McManaman came on for Nicky Barmby, I think. No, Andy Cole came on as well. So obviously England were going for it. So we put on an extra forward. You know, it was it was a really. I think Owen was injured because it was 2001. That was the year he got hurt, wasn't it? Like when he did his hamstring, the really bad injury, I think.
Okay. At Old Trafford as well.
Yeah.
Why didn't they? Do you know why they didn't play it at Wembley at the time?
Yeah, that would have been when was Wembley being torn down.
Okay, maybe.
I think maybe being torn down because right around then,
I think they should do that more. What do you think?
What, tear stadiums down?
have national games at like Anfield or
especially so in the US 100% because of how spread you are, right? And they do, don't they? Do they play else? You don't have a national stadium, do you?
No. We
So-
try to when we play certain teams, we try to get as far away from Mexico as possible. So we usually go to the north. We usually go somewhere north.
So in England, like everything's much closer together, but it's still like what's the word I'm looking for?
It's close enough for everyone to get there, kind of.
Well,
like
yes
a
and no.
6 hour drive. Oh.
A town might be 2 hours away, but the people in that town couldn't be more different than the people in this town.
Okay, gotcha.
Like, there's a lot of people up north. They're like, why is all the football, all the concerts, everything in London, right? So they have to take like a 3-hour train ride. See, what people in England don't get, and I didn't really appreciate it until I moved to Canada, where now the nearest big city is a 12-hour drive away.
Uh-huh.
Like, if you're in England and you've got to drive from London to Southampton, I'm not joking when I say people will be like, fucking hell, I got to drive. Like, people, it's the end of the world if they have to drive more than about 10 minutes. It's really bizarre. And then you go somewhere bigger and you're like, okay, that's nothing, you know?
How far of a drive is that? It's like 30 minutes?
No. That'll be at least a couple hours because of traffic. It's really busy.
Oh, okay. How long would it take to get from like the top of England to the bottom of England if you had to drive?
With traffic, 8 hours.
That's not bad at all. That's like that's about less than California. Probably.
That's from New York to Florida.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
No.
That's gonna be
Really?
long. New York to Florida?
Yeah. It can be
Oh,
done.
Wow, it can be done.
People
Gran
do that all the
Turismo style.
time.
Euro 2000 was the football competition that made you fall in love with football. Oh, nice, man.
Iran says the Pest Beckham special celebration was based on that game. Yeah.
True. Nice, man.
That was that one, right? Where he's like arms back. Kinda?
Yeah. That one.
I remember.
And finally, the best, the worst quote of the week. We already did the memory. Raynz, and what was the best moment of your week, man?
To be honest, every week for me is fantastic because I only need to work like 4 hours per day. It's fantastic.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, what do you do?
Let's just say I work in tech.
You don't?
Okay.
Are you allowed to talk about it?
Not really.
Are you
Okay,
allowed
cool.
to teach me so that I only have to?
Good thing I didn't put that in your intro. I was about to mention that in your intro, so good thing I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I have twins coming in June. I would murder a job where I only have to work.
New York to Florida 14 hours if you left right now. Raynz, what kind of you got a fast car, huh?
Yeah,
I just hear these stories of people booking it.
Oh, I got you.
Absolutely booking it. I mean, the everything has to fall in line, right? In regards to traffic.
Right. You got your radar, you know. You got to have the radar on the East Coast.
Oh, yeah.
All my family on the East Coast, they'll have radars. Yeah, they're all very. Anyways, nice, man. Why don't you give us the worst as well, Raynz, if you got one? If you got one.
All right, I keep having to find out that like I'm going to different places because my girlfriend keeps scheduling these trips that I don't know about. She tells me she knows. She tells me all the time. But like for example, like next week I'm going to Boston, and I'm just like, what? We're going to Boston? You know, at some point she's gonna be like, hey, tomorrow we're going to like Singapore. And I'd be like, oh, that's awesome. But wait, tomorrow? You know, that happens to me all the time.
Jesus, that's not that. It's good that someone plans it for you at least.
Yeah, no,
That's nice.
The actually going part is not bad at all. It's just like I don't know what's going on, you know.
I got you. The element of surprise. Milo, your best, worst of the week?
My best of the week is just how great, and I know we might touch upon it a bit more anyway, but just how great F1 has been start this season. No matter who you're rooting for. I mean, like I said last week, F1 social media is an absolute disaster, and it just makes me angry reading the uneducated, moronic takes. But just the fact that there's racing and the cars are closer, you know, I'd like to see them even closer. I'd like them to bunch up, it bunched up a little bit more. I'd like, and they will once the teams learn the regs.
Well, Latifi will always bunch them up at some point.
Yeah, I mean,
Same track, same turn.
We're going to talk about F1 a bit, but for me, the best is just that F1 is back, and I said that last week that it was back. That was it. That was my best of the week, and for me now it's back, but it's also got closer racing. I think it's becoming. Yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. My worst of the week, you know, Will Smith, Chris Rock. We have to talk about it, man. Last night we did discuss it, and we watched the footage. It was, oh man.
By the way, guys, 24 hours previous to now, so even maybe 27 hours, we're playing hockey over on Milo's stream every night, talking about everything. Check that out. You know, follow his stream as well. But yeah, we were talking about the Will Smith thing a lot last night. It was good. It was funny. I mean, what happened was not good, but it was fun to talk about because this is like a big moment in you know, the history of celebrity. You know.
Yeah, like the whole celebrity thing is so stupid anyway. Like as a concept, like that this person is famous because they're in a movie. The whole concept is ridiculous if you start thinking about it. But in their world, it's a massive event. And we've all seen Will Smith movies. We all know who Chris Rock is. Just seeing that happen and just it was real for me. It was real.
Yeah.
Like there's no question. He issued an apology today. I think Cash posted it in the Discord, and what a crazy. Like we said last night, it was crazy, man. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you think about like you're a dive bar, right, having the stand-up comedy night, and that happening, I guess it wouldn't be that surprising, but they would have broken it up and like he would have been escorted out and arrested or something, But
it leads to me. Yeah, sorry, go on. Finish.
It was just such a weird situation at the Academy Awards for that to happen, and everyone's just like, everyone's shocked. Everybody, no one in the audience got up to do anything, or it was just so weird. He walked up to him, kind of looked down, and then boom, and then just turned around and walked away and started yelling. Yeah, it was just
Chris Rock took it like a champ.
He did.
Yeah.
But I watched it again after we finished playing last night, and he said he fumbled through the next few sentences. Like he said,
Chris Rock
Yeah, he was like, this is the documentary for the, and he meant, here's the nominees for the document. You know what I mean? Like he was all over the place. But again, worst of the week for me, just because of both. It was as we call it in sim racing, it was an avoidable incident, right? Like it was an avoidable incident. That's what we'd call it in sim racing. And there's no need for that to have happened. So Chris Rock's a comedian. And so from this, obviously it's all over social media. And I keep telling you all, I hate social media, but like I go on Twitter because, I like video games and I like sports. And, there's a lot of that on there if you follow whatever you want to follow. But, you can't help it, can you? You click on one and then you go down the comments and it's like people are fucking hating on each other for having a different opinion, and it's just I went down that rabbit hole again, where people are, and I'm just like, oh my god, just turn it off. I just
you
turn
can't
it
get
off.
caught in it.
I'm like, I can't. Social media is the worst of the human race. I think it's the worst.
What did you think about that, Raynz?
To be honest, I think I put the blame on Chris Rock a little bit more. That's pretty low blow. It's pretty low blow.
Fair enough.
Like you could joke about so many other things, right?
I don't think Ricky Gervais. We were talking about this last night. I don't think Ricky Gervais pushed did anything less than what Chris Rock did there, though. You know what I mean? Like all his jokes.
Oh, what did he do?
No, like when he hosted the Golden
Globes.
Yeah. Like if you haven't seen it, then you can watch him on YouTube. There's a video that like shows all the times he's hosted it, and it's like his monologues, and he goes like close to the mark. But I get it. I think it was a recipe, wasn't it? It was Chris Rock's comment, her medical condition, Will Smith's mental state.
Yeah,
mix all that together.
Yeah,
and boom.
Yeah, it's. I'm a big fan of seeing everybody's point of view, and I see everybody's point of view, and I can see how they're in the right, in a way. But I can see, like, if this happened at like a dive bar, I wouldn't be surprised. I also wouldn't be surprised if someone took it. I could see it tearing that person up inside if he took it and didn't, release anything emotionally.
At a dive bar, that's a fight every time.
Most of the time, yeah. It happens more often there than at the Academy Awards. But I think at that moment, now everyone's very normalized. Celebrities aren't seen, it was very normalizing to see celebrities do such, quote unquote lowbrow things or handle themselves like a lowbrow way or whatever. And I hope, well, it's just like the R word, right? We used to say the R word all the time, and now we don't say it at all, right? So now is making any joke about a condition going to be slowly eradicated? Which I think is okay. You know, I mean, I don't hear too many celebrities or too many comedians attack mental conditions as it is, unless it's their own.
Maybe.
I don't know how
Tourette's.
both of you feel about it. I'd love to get your take on it. But like for me, it's going to become more like there are comedians that fit your, you know, what you find acceptable and funny. You're gonna end up watching those comedians, and there might be a comedian over here that pushes it too far for you, and you just don't watch that comedian. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
like when I was growing up, there was a comedian called Roy Chubby Brown, and I thought he was terrible. Not necessarily because of the content or what he was saying. I just didn't like anything about the way he delivered comedy. And then there was a comedian called Lee Evans that I just absolutely cried with laughter every time I watched. So it's like, if you find Chris Rock offensive, you're just
I don't think Chris Rock is. I wouldn't say Chris Rock is offensive. Like,
No,
I'm on
me
Will
neither.
Smith's side. It's just that it's a very special case when you know something about someone's wife, right? Like you're targeting them very, very hard, like a very sensitive situation there. Like literally, if you said anything else bad about the wife, that's something that's fake, right? Like that wouldn't be, that probably Will Smith probably wouldn't punch him. You could make fun of any movies that they've done, right, and say they were terrible in it, and they would have been fine. But that's a very sensitive spot, and whether it's offensive or not, I can see how that's super offensive to Will Smith and the wife there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's almost
Very
like
odd.
he was sort of asking for it in a way,
But yeah, Will Smith. If you delve into some of the recent history of Will Smith, and some of the things I've read about him, and some of the things that he and his wife have been through, the whole thing, it's like a perfect storm for that slap to happen.
Yeah.
So I can, I'm not saying everyone should have mental issues, but Will Smith has some. He definitely has some, especially in regard to his wife. So, and Chris Rock pushed it, definitely. He pushed it. But to be honest, I thought Jada Pinkett Smith looks very attractive bald. I don't know. I think maybe that's what Chris Rock thought. Like maybe he was thinking like she's so, she looks so. If he didn't, I don't know. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like to make a joke about it when she does, if she looks obviously like abnormal to how Jada Pinkett Smith, then I don't think he would have done it.
If he knew. Did he know?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
That's another question. True.
Right? If he didn't know, that I can totally see how that'd be appropriate.
If he didn't know, then yeah, Chris. Then yeah, that's. I would imagine he knew.
Who knows, right? Like it's I mean, and we were talking about this in the.
We'll definitely find out. Yeah.
Like it doesn't, none of it matters to us, right? Like it doesn't. It's entertaining to see it and talk about it.
Yeah,
I think that's a big one though. If Chris Rock knew or not,
it is. Yeah,
for sure.
If he knew, then it has a whole different hue. But I don't think we'll ever know.
If he didn't know, he was genuinely making a joke about because she's a bald woman, she could be G.I. Jane too.
Right. I thought she was in G.I. I didn't even know the context at the time. I didn't even know why it was funny. I thought it was a joke on Fabrizio Verdum and Penelope Cruz being in movies that were nominated for Best Actor, and Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith not being both nominated.
Javier Bardem, you're talking about, right?
Javier Bardem, yeah.
Yeah. Last night, I thought you said Fabrizio Verdum. I'm like, Verdum.
Oh, maybe I did say that. Maybe I did say
like
that.
The UFC
Who's that?
fighter. He's a fighter.
He is a fighter.
Or he used to be.
Yeah, he is.
Like a big dude. I'm like, is he with Penelope Cruz?
I think I did say
Surely
that.
not.
Wait, Iran says something that I would respond to. So Iran said, apparently Will Smith was in an open relationship, so he doesn't care if someone else is taking his wife, but gets all macho over joke. So I just wanted to respond to that. Even if regardless, if
Oh,
you
boy.
spend some time with someone, right, and you like share a lot of things, whether regardless of who they're dating, like they're just people that you care about, and people that you feel hurt. You start to feel hurt when they get hurt, right? So I feel like that's sort of the case. It's not necessary that it's like a wife. We don't know like who she's with or any of that kind of stuff, but generally if you care about someone, like regardless of who they're with, like it's you're gonna feel that way. I don't know.
All right.
Maybe it's getting to me.
I will say one thing about this that I heard or read about. Will Smith apparently wrote a book recently, and in that book he said his father used to beat his mother. His father used to beat his mother, and he said that one of his biggest regrets in life was that he was always a coward. He didn't like to be a coward, and he always thought he was a coward for not sticking up for his mom. And some people theorize that that's why he did what he did, to show to not be a coward or something. I don't know. I'm just saying, if you delve into Will Smith's recent history, like Will Smith was crying on national television after his wife told him that, they had a conversation on national television. I don't know if you guys caught that, but
No.
you gotta just check it out. Check it out. Okay, let's move on. Do we have a quote real quick? We're like we're heading to the 2 hour mark.
I happen to have one.
Okay,
And
what's the quote?
I was just watching House of Cards again. Great show
Okay.
for the first season. So the quote is, a great man once said, everything is about sex except for sex. Sex is about power.
Whoa. Some 50 Shades of Grey type of thing, huh? Is it? I don't know. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
No, it's just something that I always hear about when you talk with like sales agents, salespeople in general. They always
Okay.
somehow mention sex.
Okay. I watched a long time ago. Actually, it was last week. No, it was a long time ago. Real Housewives of Orange County, and one of the dudes was a salesman in that, and he said he has to have sex to make sales. So I don't know. Just piggybacking off of what you just said about sales and sex. Anyways,
Yep.
Well, do you have a quote of the week?
Hand in hand.
Yeah, just don't take life too seriously, because you'll never get out of it.
Yeah, true. Well, guys, call the. There's a hotline if in case you want to get out of it. We can find you help if anyone is trying to get out of it. Because you can't get out of it.
That's right. Yeah, call the hotline.
Call the hotline.
Yeah, do not go and slap somebody.
You know what? I'm gonna start
Goddamn.
streaming in a voice channel. If anybody wants to come hop in the chat at any time, whenever I stream this week, you can hop in anytime you want. If you just want to chat. Alrighty. And finally, F1. This is now the post show. These are some dark quotes. These are some dark. This Will Smith has thrown us all into a place. Into a place. Like I said, wars are fought because of women. F1. What are your thoughts about the race? We have 2 weeks until the next race in Australia. Question. I have now. These are noob questions. I have. Is there a Zamboni equivalent in racing?
Like to pick up pieces, you mean?
To pick up pieces to clean the track of rubber? Is there like? Do you know about the maintenance of the tracks and stuff like that?
No,
Okay.
I'm a typical driver, dude.
Okay,
We're done. I'm out of here. Like
Second
I'm like
mouse gets the cheese.
Kimi Räikkönen style, like in Monaco, his car broke down. He didn't go back to the pit lane. He just got on a yacht and started drinking champagne, like at the marina.
True.
Like that's like, I do too much driving, so I'm out of there. I have no idea what they do.
But it seems like that, where the grip is, right? The racing line, right? How there's more grip there.
Mhm.
I feel like they would.
Well, actually,
They do
you'll see the
something.
marbles are off the line because it's pinging off. But yes, so they lay rubber down, and then all those marbles are like excess that get blown off the line. So you'll actually see a pathway through it when they're done. Thank you. Sorry, my wife just gave me some chocolate.
Early bird gets the worm, but second mouse gets the cheese. Nice. Okay.
Nice.
To me, I guess I was just thinking, like, there's got to be so much rubber on the track. They must have some sort of machine that cleans it, but also keeps some sort of, I don't know. This is a thought that came into mind.
It definitely wears away as well. Weathers, rain, wind.
Right.
And depending on where you are, and like, if it's an actual legit racetrack, not a street track, there'll be other disciplines putting rubber down on it later that day or the next day anyway.
Right. And another thing about this race, I noticed Verstappen, there were, I believe, 2 DRS zones again in this race. Were there?
I knew you were going to talk about it. You're obsessed with DRS zones.
Yeah, because it's a huge strategy, right?
It's
2 things. Yeah.
It's going to become an issue that they talk about changing, I bet you. But yeah, sure. For now, it's a strategy, yeah.
Yeah, because
the DRS zones at this track were different to Bahrain. It was the other way around now, right? Now we had a short one into a medium one.
Okay, well, I didn't know that. Okay, yeah, because that's what I noticed is Verstappen didn't pass on one of them, the first one, and he chose to make the move on the second one, and then by that time, he gets so far ahead, and then he just pulls away.
If you watch actually, what they were doing was lifting. So like Verstappen was behind Leclerc, and you'll see them both lock up because they were both trying to let the other guy cross the line because it's not the DRS start. There's a DRS detection zone.
Okay.
So you have to be behind that car when you hit that zone. That's not even the start of the DRS zone. That's just the detection zone. So there's like a line on the track where if you're within a second, you're allowed to then activate your DRS when you get to the zone. So they were trying to one up each other and allow the other person to get there first, kind of thing. It's really bizarre.
Okay.
It's interesting, but
that's probably automated, right? Does DRS automatically, or does the driver have
I think they have control? I think they have an audio cue and maybe a light on the steering wheel.
Okay.
Like a beep
because
in the air.
Yeah, because it's got to be. They have to have some control over when it activates. Because you wouldn't always want to. You wouldn't always want to use it, right? Because you could. Right, it could it's like there's a sensor, and then once you're in the zone, then you can activate it. Outside of it, you cannot activate it, type of thing.
Yeah, you can't activate it.
Right. It's like not a manual thing or like a pit limiter type of thing.
No.
Okay.
You guys do F1 fantasy at all?
Well, I joined one.
Technically, I do. Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't forget, but I didn't think about it like I would a football one, Raynz, if you know what I mean. I didn't think about it like, I got to go check my fantasy team. You know what I mean? Like I picked the team at the start, and I didn't even think that you could, I'd be able to go in and change things around. So
yeah,
I will do for the next race. But yeah, we're in Cultured Left Foot. He started one, so I'll just join that.
Yeah,
I'm in the same one.
Edit my team.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in that one.
Yeah.
How'd you do this week? I didn't notice.
Well, my team, there are a few changes I want to make, which is, first of all, for some reason, I don't know if maybe this is just like a bug that I have. So I was not able to get the double points for my first pick, which is Max Verstappen. Is that on purpose that they don't allow you to
get
extra points for Max
There's only
Verstappen?
certain drivers you can do the double points on, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. That's
So
by
then-
design.
Oh, I see. So then are you able to do it for Carlos Sainz, let's say? I guess I have to check.
I don't think you can. I'm pretty sure. I mean, check, but I have a feeling it wasn't Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes. I think it's pretty much anyone else. I don't even think it was McLaren.
Okay.
I think
Really?
McLaren you could. Because I
Yeah,
think
you
in
could
the
do it
first
for
week I
McLaren.
picked Lando Norris
Yep.
for double points, and he's still been double points for me.
Yep.
I'm bleeding
yep.
over there.
I have Norris has double points too. Yeah.
I gotta check.
I'm gonna have to drop Schumacher for Magnussen. It just looks like he's doing pretty well.
Are the prices changing for it?
I'm sure they are. But Magnussen was already like the cheapest one, you know. Or near the cheapest one.
Yeah, I mean I'm a big fan of K-Mag. I forget if I picked him or not. I tried to get the best drivers in, but then no one really knew how the teams were going to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah.
So it's in the start of a new era. Like next year's fantasy, I think we'll have a much better idea.
So how long will they have these cars for? At least 5 years or something? 3
Oh
years?
yeah. And until either there's a massive safety concern with it, or they like this porpoising thing is a problem.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is a problem, and it's something's not quite right with the ground effect. But it's like we were talking about testing time. Like each team gets 6 test days. That's it.
Yeah.
So you get your engineers together. These are the regs. Okay. Let's figure out how we can make it fit the regs, fit the weight limit. You know, I was thinking at the weekend, even down to the FIA obviously want to have cameras on all the cars. So they must give the teams a list of parts that they're going to require installed and how much they weigh.
Yeah.
And everything goes into the, to the gram or whatever, whatever unit they use for measurement. But like, it's pretty crazy that when you think about it, so they come up with this car to fit the regs. So you get a few different approaches. Then they go to test day 1, 2, and 3 in Barcelona usually, or wherever it might be. And they might take a look at some of the other cars, and then they might change some things based on what they've seen that weekend, that day, or those 2 or 3 days. Then they go to the second testing weekend and try some new stuff. And six days on track is not a lot. And then they get so many hours of wind tunnel time, and the teams with less means get more time in the wind tunnel.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's all things they've been trying to do to even the sport out.
Right. Because in the long term, the teams that have more resources are going to slowly rise to the top. So it's like this first year is like a big equalizer, and then the level of the gap becomes slowly bigger as they have more time with the car.
There is a whole group of people again on stupid F1 Twitter that they're like, oh, it's so good to not see one car dominating, blah blah blah. Watch this era. A car will dominate. Might be Red Bull, might be Ferrari. When Michael Schumacher won all his titles, Ferrari dominated.
Right.
They were the best car. He was the best driver, and they had the best car, and he won. Yeah. Like Lewis has not done anything different to that. He signed with Mercedes before they did the new era of cars, and then all of a sudden, bam, they had the best car. And it's like there's this, Red Bull. I commend Red Bull the most because they've stayed relevant the entire way through. They also dominated for 4 years with Vettel, and that wasn't just Vettel being amazing. The car was the best car on the grid because it was Vettel and Mark Webber. Vettel like every weekend. But how quickly people forget,
Yeah.
There's always a dominant team, always.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Just quickly about the Australian Grand Prix. Anything about that track, off the top of your head, or have you really looked at it much?
Yeah. Go on, Raynz.
In the F1 game, it's the first track you go on, and it's definitely not the hardest. Let's just say that there's a lot. Yeah.
So the F1 game follows the old calendar schedule.
Yeah.
So it used to always start in Australia.
Ah, okay.
And it's a great track. It's a fast track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't mind it. I mean, look, I'm kind of speaking of the F1 game. Like, I'm pretty happy right now. 'Cause iRacing added last year's F1 car a few months ago.
Okay. Yeah.
And they had the Mercedes reserve driver do the feel of it. So it's supposed to be like feels like the actual F1 car. So like the F1 game, I've like Raynz, I enjoy it, but I find it too arcadey for me.
Yeah, I wish it was slightly more realistic. Doesn't have to be entirely simulated, but like
no,
closer.
iRacing have done a bang up job, and because you can download, there's a program called Trading Paint. You can get any livery you want, right? So you get on a grid in there. It's like you're surrounded by all the teams, so you can you go on and race, and it's really really good. And they're about to add the new one at some point this year, and they're also going to add it to AMS too. So I'm pretty pumped about that because Codemasters visually it looks great, but I've also got heavily into VR racing, and it's not in VR, so
yeah,
I can drive an F1 car in VR on these other sims.
I love I saw Lando do one of his streams, and I think he was playing iRacing with the F1 car, and it's hilarious. He does this like kid like paint over the Mercedes to make it look like he's doing McLaren livery. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Do you know where livery comes from? The word livery?
No idea.
I don't know.
All right, I just Googled it. Okay, so I mean, it means a lot of things, but one of the reasons is medieval horses, or what is it? Livery arose because medieval nobles provided matching clothes to distinguish their servants from others. Oh wait, no, hold on, that's not what it. Oh. Actually, no. I thought they said match their servants to their horse. That's not what it says. I don't know what it means. Still, I don't know why it's called livery. Never mind.
It says
I had
here.
Oh no, here we go. Yeah, clothing to servants.
Yeah.
Hence, liberally also allowance of provender for horses. I don't know what that means. Something to do with horses, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. They probably used to put the what's it called? The anchor? No, what's it called? What's the thing you sit on a horse?
Straddle? I don't know.
Saddle.
Saddle?
The saddle.
There we go.
They probably matched it to the servant, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, fantastic, guys. We did it. Thank you, Raynz, for stopping by, man.
Yep. No worries.
I was just reading here. Mercedes are bringing an engine upgrade, so to Australia. So it'd be interesting to see what comes of that.
I feel like Hamilton's gonna do better with a chip on his shoulder, anyways. I mean, he's gonna come back with a vengeance and win the whole thing.
You can only do that though if the car is up to pace. It doesn't have to be a monstrous car, but it has to be competitive. And like, I don't know if you saw what Toto said this weekend, in particular was, and what Lewis was saying actually I thought was more interesting. He said free practice 3, they really liked the direction the car was going with the tweaks they were doing to the setup. And I don't know, ride height, suspension, transmission, all of it. And then he says they went too far down that path and they should have stopped.
Okay.
So, but now they're obviously lacking pace as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be interesting. All right.
My favorite.
Your favorite what?
My favorite team has always been McLaren, but it's been such a long time since they've been at the top.
McLaren has an American principal.
Yeah.
And then Haas is owned by an American dude. I'm just seeing where my national
Haas
loyalty lies.
Was Gene Haas, right? And then
where's he
now
from?
America.
Oh,
but then because they race in not NASCAR, they race in another discipline in America.
They do, yeah.
But
maybe NASCAR.
he obviously was losing money because of their position. So I think that's why the Russian came in with the big investment to keep them going. And now obviously he's yanked, right?
That was
gone.
Nick Mazepin, which
Yeah,
makes me
so
super
now-
hungry. Because isn't there like a dessert called
Like,
Mazepin?
You're talking about marzipan.
Marzipan, yeah. What is that?
Is it like a yellow?
Marshmallow? Oh.
No, it's kind of like fondant, isn't it? It's kind of like that kind of.
Fondant. Another good name. That'd be a good last name for somebody. Michael Fondant.
The Haas are going to do well because they got annoyed the other day because people are like, well, it's just a white Ferrari. It's the same thing that happened when Force India had the Mercedes engine. They just called it a pink Mercedes.
I remember that.
What I mean? Like,
Drive to Survive.
yeah. But it's
knowledge.
It's those smaller teams. They can't afford to build their own engine, right? So if the team they buy their engine from suddenly finds something, they're going to benefit.
Right.
Plus, K-Mags are really really good.
Wait, so if Gene Haas and the Russians aren't in it, who's supporting Haas then?
It's oh my god, I saw it the other day.
Is it a charitable organization like Chelsea?
So it's still owned by Gene Haas. Does anyone in chat know off the top of their head? I forget. I was reading about it like 3 days ago. LLC, NASCAR. Yeah, so he has a NASCAR Cup Series team.
Okay.
I never thought I'd get into ovals, but again, that's something else I've been doing on iRacing secretly. I quite like it. I'm not going to lie. Look
Oval?
at me becoming all North American.
The oval. I like how they called it the oval. Oval.
It's such a different mindset.
Yeah.
Oval racing, drafting, and it's managing tires and sitting behind someone until exactly the right time.
It's like the bare bones of F1 almost.
It's very unique. Yeah, very unique.
I wonder if do they ever do oval with do they ever do oval with an F1 car? I wonder if they would do that. I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I mean, they do it with IndyCar, right? So
they
do IndyCar, which is the open wheel. And dude, it's so dangerous, man. Like, I could. There's so many videos of bad crashes.
Yeah.
You think Vettel's ever going to do even decently well ever again?
I hope not. I'm sorry, I was never a fan of
Vettel.
I was never a fan. I know a lot of people love Seb. I get it. I'd love to. Do you know what I'd love to see win the most is Daniel Ricciardo. Raynz. That's the
Daniel
guy.
Ricciardo.
I'd love to see him win,
fan.
Man.
I'm not a fan.
You're not a fan.
No.
Is it because of Drive to Survive?
It's partly because of Drive to Survive.
Don't fall for their bullshit, car.
They try to put him on a pedestal and Drive to Survive. Yeah. I think they try to play him up.
He's that happy all the time.
That's what I don't like about it. It's like these guys that. People. Well, not in a competitive game all the time. Like I don't like it when people are smiling, laughing after they lose a game. You know,
yeah,
like
he's widely regarded as maybe the best overtaker on the grid. Right?
I mean, okay. I don't know. There's something about him. It's just like a bit
Australian.
No. No. It has nothing to do with that.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's just he's no. I mean, I guess that is a bit of an Australian vibe, though, personality, right? That kind of happy-go-lucky type of chill.
I don't know. Have you talked to Aussie?
Yeah, exactly. Aussie's a perfect example. He's just like a happy guy. Seems like to me. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. You know. Yeah. They're all just the accent. They're also laid back and just chill. Dude, that's fine.
Can't like be an angry American.
I'm not saying be an angry American. I'm just saying Be competitive. Be competitive. You can tell. You can look. You can see Lewis's eyes. He's fierce. You can see in Verstappen's eyes. He's an aggressive. He wants to win, stuff like that. But these guys who are like I don't know. I guess I'm learning more that the car is a huge component of it. That if you don't have a car, there's like you're basically never gonna win. Right?
It's
so if
unfortunately
I guess
the case.
more I understand that. I guess then you have to think about other personality traits, and he also said he does a lot of the media in America, right? Like on talk shows and stuff, and he said it's like F1 is like is a traveling circus. That's one of the quotes he said. And when you look at it that way, you have to have a good attitude and you have to be happy and stuff like that, and that's a good way to be. So that's fine.
I think when he's behind the wheel, I think he's very much. I think he hates it that he's not been given that chance.
Yeah, and that's
really,
the thing. It's like that's a huge part of it, isn't it? Like there's only a couple cars that are gonna win,
and that's why the whole
incident.
People arguing about it is so pointless, because the only way we would ever know who the best driver is to put them in exactly the same car with the same setup.
Yeah.
American style salary cap. That's what you want, Milo. Just say it.
No, a salary cap wouldn't do it.
What?
Because you'd still have some engineers that are better than others.
Yeah,
Isn't
but that's all part all in the salary cap, right? How you allot your money would be different, but you'd all have the same amount of money. Wouldn't that be that would be a better competitive landscape for F1 rather than
It's seedy
unlimited
though, man. F1, like behind the scenes,
yeah.
that whole I think I was talking about it the other week, like industrial espionage. There's been so many stories down the years, like when they're testing, like there'll be someone in on a roof of a hotel or something nearby with a telescope looking at a rival's car to figure out what have they done different.
Yeah,
Like it gets crazy.
What about Formula E? I heard that Formula E, they're pretty balanced in regards to cars, right?
They are, and if it wasn't for the sound, I would be all in, dude. I can't. It's coming to Vancouver actually. They added Vancouver to the.
It's just like an Azumi sounding. Yeah.
Yep. And they have like turbo zones on the track.
Yeah, they do.
And
Yeah.
shit,
What?
Which is like a video game.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Like you drive over a thing and it activates more like a boost.
Yeah. Strategically placed boosts.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
I'm not against it, but actually, Raynz, you joined my Discord as well. I mean, Cart, whoever's we're in, I have F1 TV, right? And so I tend to whack the races on. You never heard that, anyone? Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, on F1 TV, they have all these old races, and I think I was talking to Soccer about it. We're gonna watch some of the old ones sometimes, because the V10 era, just the noise, so good.
The noise is. I saw some videos of people at the F1 Austin race recently, and that's what everyone mentioned: the sound.
Yeah,
it's just it's just ear blasting.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've done it, guys.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna chill.
Final question: should I shave part of the beard off? Your guys' opinion.
Raynz, what do you think?
I mean, why don't we just completely expose you? Is that what you're asking?
This is what? No. I'm asking, should I shave my beard? I'm saying, okay, I'll tell you why. I'm overweight. I need to lose weight. But if I have the beard, I can't tell. I don't have to see it. But then again, I also don't look in a lot of mirrors.